So a question that I see asked a lot is, should I wear headphones when I'm doing my solo podcast? And I have a different opinion than most podcasters will tell you. So I'm going to tell you all about why I think you don't have to wear headphones when you're recording your solo podcast. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Krystal here today, and I want to talk about headphones for your podcast because, we got the AirPods, we have the fancy we have all kinds of headphones that we can use for our podcast, but I'm going to tell you why I think you don't need any whenever you're recording your podcast. So why is that? Let's dive in. So first of all, I want to be clear that I'm specifically talking about recording your podcast, okay? If you are brand new to podcasting, then yeah, you probably do need to hear exactly how loud you are, whether your levels are off, or whether it just sounds really bad whenever you're recording your podcast. But if you've been doing this for a while and you know that everything is set up, your settings are correct, whether you're recording in Audacity or Audition or GarageBand, like all the places, you know that everything is set up properly, then why are you still wearing headphones? Like, to me, it's distracting, and maybe that's not a popular opinion. Maybe I'll get some bad comments below saying I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'll just be really honest with you. I don't like to wear headphones whenever I'm talking. It's like one of those things where I just get inside my own head. It distracts me, and then these big clunky things, these are not mine. These are my husband's, by the way. But when I put them on, and they're fantastic for noise cancellation, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, they're distracting because I can't hear myself as well, which, y'all, I'm loud. I get it. But this just taking all the noise out, it just distracts me. And then if I hear myself in here, then I'm like, oh wait, is that really what I sound like? Maybe I should be louder. Maybe I should be soft. And it totally throws me off. So I am not a fan of wearing these kind of headphones when I'm recording. If you do need to wear headphones because you're just getting started and you want to make sure that you're on the right track, then I suggest something that aren't as much over your ear. Either these are actually what I use for my computer. So I'll plug these straight into my computer. I'll have one earbud in when I'm recording. This is when I first started. This is what I did. I'd have one earbud in, not both. One of them, and then while I recorded, I could kind of tell there's a little bit of a scratchy sound, or it's too loud, it's not loud enough. And I would make the adjustments that way. But for now, for solo podcast, I don't do it. Now, I say that because I want to make it clear, solo podcast. I'm not talking about interviews. I'm talking about when it is just me, no one else, whenever I'm recording a podcast episode. I don't wear headphones. So there, I said it. I don't do it. And I think that you should, if you're doing interviews, for all kinds of reasons that we won't get into here today. But if you are brand new, maybe wear them for a while just to get used to it. Like I said, these literally came with an iPhone. I had an iPhone 6 for a really long time. So these are probably several years old, nothing fancy. And then I recently got some AirPods. I got these for Christmas because I was a good girl and I did not get a lump of coal this year. I got some AirPods. These work fantastic now whenever I'm doing my editing and doing some other things. But if you don't have any of this, you don't need it while you're recording. Editing is another thing. You do need to have a pretty decent pair of headphones. I still think these work perfectly. I've used these for years editing my podcast, but you don't need anything fancy while you're recording your podcast. Just do it. I have so many people telling me I don't have the right equipment. I can't do this. I need the fancy headphones. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need to start recording your podcast. That's what you need to do. You need to start recording your podcast. That way you can have content to kind of measure how your audio sounds. Because if you never put anything out, then how is anyone going to know what your podcast sounds like? No one will know. So that is my tip for you, is you don't need headphones if you are doing a solo podcast recording. So speaking of solo podcast, I want to know, put in the comments below, what do you talk about on your solo podcast? I'm really interested. So put it below. I want to give you a shout out maybe in the next few videos and say, hey, here's Teresa in Austin talking about her arts and all the cool things that she's doing. That's actually one of my friends. I'm trying to get her to do a podcast. You see what I did there? Like, I'm giving her a shout out because I'm pressuring her to put a comment below. But this, I want to know, what are your podcasts about? What do you talk about? Who is your audience? Put it in the comments below and I'd love to give you a shout out. But that does it for this video, so give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe below. That way you don't miss any future episodes. Be sure to check out these podcasting videos here and sign up for our free 5-day Create Your Podcast Bootcamp in the links below. And that's it. That's all I have for you. So remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.